that the foundation of every marriage is love. The foundation is love, and not even your religion. So if the foundation of every marriage is love, and the young man sees the girls elsewhere and say, Mommy and Daddy, I love your woman somewhere and I want to marry her. And you will say, over my dead body, for you to marry from that tribe. Is it your marriage? The foundation is love. And when we miss this understanding of love, then we are going to miss everything. What you are supposed to do as a parent is to advise out of your so many years of wealth of experience as husband and wife. And in the first reading of the gospel, we all heard clearly that the two shall become what? One. And on wedding days in the Catholic Church, what do we do after the exchange of consent? We always ask the man to marry his wife so that they will sit where? In the same place, together, So, how many husbands and wives are sitting together now? Let me see your hands go. Looks like you're missing out today because you are reading. How many husbands and wives are sitting together today in the church? Let me see your hands go. Put your hands together for these few ones. They say the two shall become one. No man shall put asunder. And you are the ones putting the asunder now, you are supposed to be sitting together when you come to church, and when it's like this advice. So that when you sit together, the priest is saying something that your husband is guilty of, pinch him. If he's saying something that your wife is guilty of, you pinch her. And yeah, if you don't know, psychologically you are solving some problems. It works. So I am challenging you today, from next Sunday, like to sit together, husband and wives. And my reflection today, I want to be very, very practical. Very, very. For those of you who have attended wedding masses, I have officiated, you'll understand from the background from which I am talking about. And today, I am going to use a book from a man that a girlfriend shared with me. The man's name is Gary Chapman. He wrote that book sometime in 1992, 1995. It was reprinted in 2004. The title of the book is The 5 Love Languages. The 5 Love Languages. You might let me have those 5 words. Now, the first word up there is words of affirmation. Say words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. For Gary Chapman, and I believe him, if you want to sustain your marriages, the first thing you must have in mind is words of affirmation that is built on love. Now, what does he mean by love affirmation? For our mothers, when you were coming to church, how many of you look at your husbands after they have finished dressing and say, babe, you are looking handsome today? How many of you? How many of you? How many of you look at your husband and say, let me be the one to wear the purse for you? How many of you look at your husband and say, let me be the one to tie the shoes for you? And say, this your shoe is beautiful. Wear this particular one today. You are looking handsome. You are the best man in the world. How many of you did that this morning when you were coming from us? If you have not been doing that, start it today after this mass. That is what we mean by words of affirmation. When he is back from work looking tired, no, he looks stressful. You say, oh baby, you are looking handsome today. So that you will help him remove all those stress from the student. If you are a medical personnel, all those stress from the patient in the hospital. So words of affirmation are very important. How many of you, our daddies, that your wife today, after rubbing foundation, powder, and the hairstyle and say, oh baby. You are looking gorgeous. How many of you are our parents? How many of you are our husbands are doing that? How many of you just look at your wife? She wears a particular clothes, you know that she's used to that very one. But you can just look at her and say, where did you hide this clothes all this while? But it is today that you are wearing it. Make her feel big in her head. Words of affirmation. So we need to encourage one another, and that is what Gary Chapman is talking about. Words of affirmation. As you are saying that to each other, your children are learning. They are learning. Even as he's driving down to the church, he has carried everybody from the family, he's driving down. As he's entering the potholes, where did you learn your driving school? You learn in the United States? Just make it feel big at that moment. Words of affirmation. But many have failed to do that. Sit with one another in the church. Encourage one another. And if you fail to call your husband baby, some of these small students are ready to call them baby. Sure you know. If you fail to call your husband baby, some of those small students are ready to call them baby. And you will see old man with beer answering, oh baby, thank you for calling me baby. Same thing with the husbands. If you refuse to give them words of affirmation, they have young boys around that are ready to give them that. They are ready to give them that. So we must be ready to take the medication of words of affirmation. The second one, quality time. Quality time. Learn to spend quality time with your wives and with your husbands. How can you spend 4 hours in a staff club and you are spending only 30 minutes with your wife in the house? Then do you? Then do you? Quality time with your family. Sit down with your wife and chat away. For those of you who are within the campus, thank God there are beautiful trees to over. One evening you can just take a plastic chair. If there's no plastic chair, look for a stone and your wife. Look for under one tree. Just sit down there and begin to chat away. Chat, discuss. Discuss on things that will help you. Discuss on things that will even help your children. Those quality time you will spend with your wife, casual, you can begin to discuss your children. You see, Gideon is this. You see, Esther, she is this. Quality time. Sometimes, park the car. You can look for a 3/4 as a husband, and the wife, look for something beautiful and wear. Leave your car in the house. Take a walk from your house. Go to main gate. If your house is far, you can come and park the car in the church. We have allowed you. Come and park it here. And then just take a walk and go outside. Hold her in the hands. You are taking a walk. Buy corn, chew it, and be coming back. It is medicinal. It works. If you don't see corn to buy sugar cane. Chew it and be coming back home. These things work. It works. Quality time. As you are doing that with your wife and with your husband, you are curing yourself of some unnecessary anxieties and the troubles of life. If you don't see sugar cane, buy granite. Be eating these things and you are coming back. You may take it for granted, but many families from afar are admiring you. They will be admiring you. These things work. You know what? As you are working with your wife, eating the corn you have bought or the sugar cane you have bought, those small girls that have been calling your husband baby, when they see you, they become angry. So if you keep doing that, the anger will increase and you will leave your husband for you because you are spending quality time with It works. It works. So try to spend quality time. When you do that, even with your children, sit down with them, ask them questions. Why are you this way? Why are you that way? In a very calm and diplomatic way. I tell you, you will get to understand your children seriously. Sometimes mothers are trying heavily with the fathers. So you must pick up the challenge of spending quality time with your family. It is medicinal. You can't go and spend 4 hours in midnight vigil and you cannot spend 1 hour with your family. It will not work. The evil spirit will remain there. Because the evil spirit is not a shouting up there for lack of quality time. I tell you. It is because of this harvesting that I'm trying to rush this out. I wish we were a normal day. Now, the third one has to do receiving gifts. Receiving gifts. To our daddies, when last did we give our mommies gift? When last? When last did you buy gift? Aside giving money for food, that will be gift. So, when last did you buy gifts to our mommies? Last month, God bless you. It is very important. Like I always say to those who are wedding on their wedding days, make sure you do not neglect gift giving in your homes. It is very, very much important. You travel and you are back. You can buy these slippers for your wife. She will appreciate it. Anything she's wearing that, she will remember. Some men don't even know the size of their wife's shoes. Some don't even know. Buy her a scarf. Even if it looks ugly, it is a gift. For you also, our mommies, in the other way around, make sure you give gifts to our daddies. Some don't even know the size of their trousers. I am challenging you today. Try and know that. If you don't have the resources to buy some of these kind of gifts, even if this is sweet, I tell you, learn to buy that. Once in a while, you come back home and say, baby, I bought this for you. Like I told you, if you don't give gifts to each other, these small students, they will buy it for your husbands and your wives. As they are coming back from vacation, you say, baby, where will I see you? I brought gifts for you from home. At all. Your wife being in your house 10 years, she never buy any person. Somebody just went back from break. Out of their school fees, they buy one gift. And you, with your salary and your business, you cannot buy a gift. So learn to do this. Learn to appreciate this. When you appreciate each other, anytime your husband is carrying any of these things, he will remember, oh, this is from my wife. You can even buy him a pet. As he's going around, even in the office, the fragrance of the pet. If some of us students walk into the office and say, oh, sir, you are smelling well. Say, my wife bought a gift. Now my wife buy it. Now my husband buy it. It works. So learn to give gifts to each other. Number 4 is acts of service. And what do we mean by acts of service? Helping one another in the house. Helping one another in the house. When your wife and the children are not at home, and you are very sure by the time they will be coming back, they will be hungry. There will be hunger on the land in the house. Try, even if you don't know how to cook, just prepare anything. Let them eat and watch. You take them physically. It is an act of service. You are appreciating they are coming back to the house. You are helping them out also in the service. If they are not around, nothing will remove the man in you when you take the broom and sweep the house. It is an act of service. Same also the wife. You wake up in the morning, the fact that you are still one in the house does not mean that you should not wash your private toilet. When your husband sees you clean that, you wash the toilet, you clean the room first thing in the morning, you wake up, everybody is busy going for morning mass or going to work. make up your bed. The husband is watching. Act of service. You can wash his clothes. You must not wait for NEPA to bring light before you put the clothes inside washing machine. He didn't marry washing machine. He marries a wife. Once in a while, even with the light, keep the washing machine aside. Carry some of his clothing, 2 or 3. Wash them. Acts of service. Don't wait for the washing machine. Just do them. Once in a while, you mustn't wash all, but you can pick few and do that. Your husband will appreciate you. If he is used to giving you 10 naira, he may increase it to 15 naira. These things work. And as you are doing these things for each other, your children are learning. Number 5. Physical touch. For some men, they don't even get time for their wives, as discussed in number 2. But you must find time, hug each other, like as you walk down the streets, holding each other, discussing things that will help you. Ask your wife, can I cut your nails for you? Ask your husband, can I cut your nails for you? Physical touch. From there, you can go romantic, and the rest will be story. I know what they are telling now. Whether there are children here or not, I have to give you this medication to take it, because we have battled so many marital problems. Yes, physical touch. See, I've handled cases, forget my age. I've handled so many cases on marriage. One come, say, Father, my husband really touched me. I can't remember when last my husband touched me. I said, go and bring him. Of course, the toucher must be there, so that we discuss the issue of touching. I mean, he came. He was in this very office. I said, okay, I want to say you need toucher. Explain. Say, Father, forget this woman. She wants me to be doing things that they are doing in the world, which is not possible. Very life stories. So many of them are laughing. I said, okay, be touching your wife, be touching her, play with her. Because if you do not, and you tempt her into going out, and she has somebody that is a firebrand toucher, hey, you will begin to rub anointing oil and it will not stop it. Because you have missed the point. Same thing with the wives. Let them touch your husbands. Play with them. Be a romantic wife. Be a romantic husband. Play with them. When you see your wife losing her hair and you are free at that moment, look for a man who broom. Our mother used to ask us to carry my hair back, lose her hair. So look for one of those things. Help her lose her hair. It is also a touch. She feels happy and romantic. Same thing also with you, our mommies. Like I was saying, your husband is dressing up. Go and help him wear his shoe. Tie the rope for him. It is also a touch. And from there, you enter the land of Adam and Eve. Because it is required. I have said here severally. No amount of prayer and fasting can solve the problem of sex in your marriages, but physical touch and having time with one another. If you don't know now I've given you the medications, you have to take them. If doctor give you drugs that you have to even pay some money in the hospital before you are given, and you refuse taking those drugs, and the sickness persists, now doctor problem. This one you don't pay money, and I've given you the knowledge. So if you don't take her, this one I have. So you must learn to dress well. that will lead him to touching you also. Same also with our fathers. As a mother, you cannot wear the blue wrapper in the parlor and wear the blue wrapper in the bedroom. You know, go walk. Look for a transparent and sexy nightgown and wear. In the bedroom for your husband. No, this is the blue they do for bedroom. To the husband also, you must learn how to look sexy to your wife in the bedroom to sustain your marriages. No, St. Joseph know you will wear. Or you see some men, 1 week you are wearing one singlet, a torn one for that matter. How do you want to look sexy before your wife? With a torn singlet? How? Tell me how. These are practical issues. Today, tomorrow, changing. Worst of all is even boxers. So men wear boxers more than 1 week. Do you know when men want to change their boxers, do you know what they do? Do you know what they do when they want to change their boxers? Those who are born for more than 1 week. Men, the time is worth spending. When men want to change their boxers, some men, it is not by being dirty, they will remove it and smell it. If you know the smell, they will wear and continue the journey. Haba, try now. After 2 days, wear another one. This is the only way you can keep your marriages together. This is the only way you can keep your families together. Chapman didn't include this. But prayer is also important. You wake up every morning, pray in your house. Even if you are coming for morning mass, you can wake up earlier and then pray together. If you are not coming for morning mass, still pray together. After prayer, you can say to your husband, you did something yesterday and I was not happy. The children were not happy in the house. Here you can apologize. Here you can discuss. If any of your son is misbehaving also, at that moment after the prayer, you can say that you have been doing this. Please change your ways. But if you don't pray together, how will you be able to discuss issues that affect your family? Now, I'm going a bit exegetical now. Sorry for taking your time. Now, Jesus and the first reading speaks about divorce. That a man should divorce his wife, yes or no? The Pharisees asked Jesus, should a man divorce his wife? And Jesus will say to them, it is as a result of what? The hardness of your heart that Moses allowed you for a man to divorce his wife. But from the beginning, it was not so. The gospel of today, as taken from Mark, didn't tell us reason why someone can divorce his wife in court. But if you read Matthew's Gospel chapter 19, from verse 1 to 12, it is the same gospel narration, but with difference. Jesus will say to them that someone can divorce his wife. Nobody is allowed to divorce his wife, except in cases, I wouldn't want to use the last word because of the controversy. Jesus will say, except if you have the Bible, you can check that Matthew's Gospel, chapter 19, verse 9. That is where the problem is coming from. That is where Jesus will say, except in cases, for example, of unchastity. Now, many preachers have interpreted the Bible that Jesus allowed divorce. Jesus did not allow divorce. He said, except in cases of unchastity. Now, you have so many Bibles in the world today. This is why the church will advise you, make sure any Bible you are buying, it is boldly written Catholic edition. Because if you don't buy Catholic edition, most of those guys that want to interpret this their way, they will have the Bible, the soft copy, and they will go and change the word that is there and put that which is in their mind to suit their interpretation. You remember? New Testament was written in Greek. Now, the word that Jesus used there is called poinia. Now, this word poinia means fornication. It means unlawful. It means prostitution. Now, Jesus will say, no man is allowed to divorce his wife except in the case of poinia. If you read the African Bible, Catholic edition, the African Bible uses the word unlawful, except in cases of unlawful marriages, that a man is allowed to divorce his wife. I wanted to come to those Bibles from the house, I forgot. If you read the Jerusalem Bible, the Catholic edition, the Jerusalem Bible uses the word illicit marriages. Another word for unlawful is illicit. The Revised Standard Version uses the word unchastity. Catholic Bible, because there is another version called Catholic Bible. Even online you can get all this. The Catholic Bible also uses the word unchastity. So that a man is only allowed to divorce the woman he is staying with only in cases of poinia. Now, poinia, as you have seen here, it is fornication or unlawful. It therefore means, by that word, that Jesus said, except in cases of this, it means from the beginning you are not wedded, lawfully, that you are just staying together with your woman, what the church sometimes call notorious concubinage. That you are just staying with a man, you never go pay that one, you don't do anything, you just carry her, she sit down with you, and she's even giving birth to children. That is what Jesus is talking about. It is an unlawful marriage. That in such cases, if you catch her or she catches you sleeping with another woman outside, because you are not wedded, that cannot be called adultery. It is called fornication. It is called unlawful union. In fact, you can call it prostitution. So in that case, you are free to send her away, send him away, and probably if by this time you are back to your senses like the prodigal son, you can now look for the rightful woman and come, go pay her dowry, and then come and be wedded with her in the church. So Jesus does not allow divorce. What he is saying is that if the woman you are staying with is not legal, then you can go and send her and then marry the rightful one, because you have to understand that her ways or his ways are not pure. Jesus did not mean, because if you read some of those interpretations, some of those writers, they call the except in the case of unchastity, some of them interpreted it to be adultery. No, it is not adultery. It is only someone who is lawfully married that commits adultery. So if you're not lawfully married, anything you do is called fornication. That is why the word Jesus uses there, porneia, means unlawful union, fornication, and prostitution. This is why the next sentence after unchastity, that if the man is married and he decided to go and misbehave with another woman, the word that Jesus uses there is word moikatai. Moikatai, which means adultery. So moikatai in Greek is the word for adultery. But as a married man, if you go about sleeping with other women, you are doing what Jesus called moikatai. As a married woman, if you go about sleeping with other men, you are doing what Jesus calls moikatai. In this case, Jesus is saying divorce is not possible. Forgiveness comes. No wonder Pope Francis will say, no family can survive without forgiveness. So we must be sensitive. You cannot divorce your wife as a result of adultery. You cannot divorce your husband as a result of adultery. Read John's Gospel chapter 8 from verse 1 to 11. The Pharisees brought a woman before Jesus, and they are saying that she was caught in the very act of what? Adultery. She was caught in the act of adultery. And they are thinking, as a result of the happiness of their heart, and they are thinking of how a man can send his wife anyhow, they asked Jesus, should we stone her dead? What did Jesus say to her? If anyone amongst you have not sinned, let him be the first to cast a stone against that woman. And he turned to her and said to her, woman, go and sin no more. In other words, go back to your husband's house and sin no more. In other words, go back and meet your wife and the children and sin no more. In this, our summary for today is this. Marriage without love. You remember the 5 languages of love I've given you by Gary Chapman? Good. This influence me to giving you this summary. Marriage without love is like a car without engine. Nothing works. But when you make love the foundation and the language of the marriage, it becomes the medication for the healing of your family in moments of misunderstanding and challenges. One love, and in God we trust, should be the maxim for your marriages. One love, and in God we trust, should be the maxim for your marriages. The second one, only unlawful, this one is the summary of this interpretation I've given you in Greek language. Only unlawful marriages are lawful for divorce. Anything outside this comes from the evil one. May God sustain all marriages in bringing healing to broken homes. And for those who have been separated, may God's healing balm bring restoration through Christ our Lord. Let us stand and confess.